Good morning, good afternoon, good night. Welcome back. Welcome to. My name is Joe Josh. I go by iChart Daily on this metaverse. Today is November 26th. It's going to be short, simple. Just want to give you a quick technical analysis update on Bitcoin and tell you where I think the short-term bottom could be based off of factual information in the charts, trends that have happened in the past, and that's how I do my technical analysis. There is no opinions here, cuzzy. This is not financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. I'm literally trying to regurgitate all of the information that I have accumulated over the past 17 years doing this, and I'm trying to teach you so you can make better investment decisions. And instead of justifying price action and going to the news, you instantly go to the chart. I trust charts over people. F the news, trust the charts. Before I do that, I'll explain what I mean. So, in a nutshell, I think the market has short-term topped. I do think a lot of the alts are going to bleed, especially back to Bitcoin, which will help Bitcoin stay flat. But I do think a consolidation is on the horizon. Why do I say that? Number one, there's a CME gap from 81,000 to 77,000. Number two, we're seeing resistance at resistance. Number three, the RSI is now pointing down and we are on thin ice, meaning if we were to break the 70, there is room to bleed back to major support, which is what you want to do. You want to buy an asset when it comes down to the 50 line because that shows that there is a continuation pattern on the horizon. You want to buy assets in section A with room to grow. If the asset goes into section B, that means the waves are going to be making lower lows, right? So before I start, I just want to go over why you can't justify everyday price action with a news article from a journalist on a website. Excuse me. XRP. XRP, for weeks, I was explaining to my Discord and even the videos that this has only happened 3 or 4 times in history. When XRP versus Bitcoin, this is on Binance, went extremely oversold, you could see I was circling it 1, 2, 3, and now 4. When you go to the XRP versus the dollar, it was 1, 2, 3, and 4. There is no news circulating that. The sheep and the people who don't know technical analysis or anything about charting thought that this candle was because of Gary Gensler saying that he is going to resign in January when Trump gets into office. I didn't know that, right? I said that in the last video. I didn't know that was going to happen, but I was giving the advice that once this happens, this happens. Now let me explain why it's very silly to justify price action with the news. XRP looks like it's top heavy. XRP has not made a higher high to the 161. XRP's indicators on the daily are showing me bearish divergence. If and when XRP breaks the 70, we are breaking the 122. Once that happens and we come back into the trend is this beautiful symmetrical triangle. We then have once we come into here, right? This is the section I was saying was the greed level. This was the greed level. This was the greed level. Once we come back into like 114, 112, we have a very high probability of going back to support. Like I said in the last video, your resistance levels was 65 to 75 cents. During a continuation pattern, what was resistance will turn into support. Back to the being silly justifying price action with the news, when it goes down to 75 or 85 cents, are you going to go to the news and be like, I don't understand, is Gary going back into the office? Was he joking? What's going on with XRP? What's going on with Ripple? What's going on is the asset's extremely overbought. What's going on is the asset went from the 30 line to over the 70 line, And the saying is, I trust charts over people. In the past, was it a good idea to buy any asset when it's over the 70? No. Top. What about here? Top. What about here? Top. What about here? Top. Is it smart to buy the asset close to the 30? Yeah. Bottom. Yeah. Bottom. The RSI, MACD are very important indicators. The whole point of using indicators is to help you paint the picture instead of guessing what's going on. Oversold, overbought. Trend lines go with trend indicator. The MACD is the trend indicator. Once the MACD death crosses, I have to then delete the upward trend lines to go down. Once again, I'm going to set an alert right here at 119. And I do think eventually we come back down to, like I said, waves, right? Not right away. So it'll do something like this. 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 Then it'll bottom out like this. Then you'll see the indicators do something like this. Then you'll see the indicators do something like this. And once we're at the 50 and it shows that the MACD looks like the volume is going the other way, right? More positive than negative. That's when I say we have a local bottom and we have room to grow back to the 115 to the 140 level. No news. So let's go to Bitcoin. And let's talk some technical analysis. I said I was having an alert at the 68.69. Once that was broken, we were going to break the white up trend line. We did. The most important thing now, are we going to use the 70 as resistance? Meaning this, then this, then this. If that happens, that's a bearish continuation. And that means we will not break the 95,000. We will use what was support as now resistance, and the legs will start going down. This will form somewhat of a bear flag. Then we'll come back down to the 86,000, like I said about 1 or 2 weeks ago. And then, because of the CME gap, I'm expecting that to be around the local bottom. Another thing that confluences up with that is the moving averages. I like to use the moving averages based off of what I've seen in the past. What do I mean by that? I like to back test and then bet with the trend. Meaning, every time Bitcoin was above the 70, broke the 70 and went down to the 50, what moving average did it go to around? The purple. The purple is the 41-day moving average. So let's back test it. We broke, we went to the 50, price action. Local top went to the purple. Okay. 70 to 50 went to the purple. 70 to 50 went to the purple. Okay. How about this one? How about the 60,000 all the way to 30? We went from the 70, we went a little bit below the 50. So we went a little bit below the purple. The point is, the purple is around the range. If you are not near the purple, then you know you got room to bleed, right? 70 to 50 means that we have room to bleed, and we're using the moving average to give us around a ballpark of where we think it could go. Now, the moving averages are going up, so by the time the waves make it down, maybe it goes to the blue and the purple. So once again, I always use longer time frames to see where major liquidation zones are. And I say like right there, 72,000. I feel like that could line up with the purple and the blue when the price action is coming down. Okay, so let's back test again. Let's keep going over here. We went from 70 to 50, local top to the purple. Okay, once again, if we break the 50 and go down to the 30, that's when we're extremely oversold and the asset is going to bleed past the purple. Let's look in the past. 70 to the 50. We went from 20,000 to the purple. Okay, Let's go in the past. 70 to the 50. We went from 2,900 to around the blue and the orange. Okay. You could do this yourself. 70 to the 50. 1,200 to the purple, but because we went a little bit below the 50, right here, you can see we went a little bit below the purple. So I don't know if it's going to stop at the 50 or the 45. What I do know is a range and a price range that gives me somewhat of an idea to figure out where I think the next local bottom could be. So we lined up what, 4, 5, 6, 7 times in the past 7, 8 years that the asset, regardless of the news, when this happened, that happened. So it hasn't happened yet. I'm going to set an alert on the weekly at the 69.67. Once that alert goes off, I know we have room to bleed, and I know we have room to bleed around where? Like I said, the purple. So now we go to the daily. Okay? Most important thing. It hasn't happened yet. Meaning, I don't know if this is a fake out and we come back into the trend. Meaning, we could break down, not use the 70 as resistance. We could come back up into the 70 over here and then use it as support. If, the word is if that happens, we break above the white trend line again. This was just a fake out. We come back up and then we head back towards the 99,000. Once again, I don't know if that happens because nothing is confirmed yet. In technical analysis, I open up my longs or shorts, or I buy or I sell based off of the confirmation. The confirmation is on the daily. I want to see if we come up and then we stop here. And then once I see somewhat of a downtrend, that's when I am very confident and have a very high probability of this going down to here. Okay? But step one has already initiated, right? That's like stepping on a lake that has ice on it and you hear the crackles. Hasn't broken yet, but you hear the crackles. And you're like, right? It's like, the ice is breaking, but it hasn't broken yet. Once you see the break in the ice, then you're like, yep, poo-poo's hitting the fan, cuzzy, I'm going in the water. So, with that being said, once again, let's set some alerts. The best thing you could do is always go to the half. If you're looking at the daily, I like to go to the 12-hour because that means that's 2 candles to make up the 24-hour. I'm going to set an alert at the top of these wicks at 95,000. Excuse me. I'm also, excuse me, going to set an alert at the 50. Okay, right here. I'm curious, since this high came down, we had a lower high, way lower low. I'm curious if we come up and make another lower low, get rejected by the 70, and I'm curious if we come down and stop at the 50, or if the bearish trend stays intact. What does that mean? High, low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Do we make a lower low? If we enter section B, that means we're going to have continuations to the downside. That means that the waves, right? I try and catch waves. That means that the waves are not going up anymore. That means that the waves are going to be going down. During bearish times, it is very difficult for someone who does not know technical analysis to make money, because that means you need to buy at the exact bottom, and you need to take your profit when it's making that lower high. Then you need to buy again, and when you're extremely oversold, and then again take profit when it's making that lower high. It has not officially made the lower high yet, so I cannot draw a trend line. Okay, I am preparing you for what could, and you can see here we are getting resistance now, 2 candles in a row underneath the white line. If we continue underneath the white line, that is a clear indicator to me that we're having a continuation pattern to the downside. Once again, the CME gap will get filled eventually. Okay, what does that mean? That means it could be December, the second, third week of December, and it gets filled. Christmas time comes around the corner. Usually for the holidays, money goes back into the asset. People are sitting around the dinner table talking about their portfolios. And if you listen to anyone like me and you bought at 17.5, 15.5, 13.5, 25.5, 35.5, 45.5, 55.5, you're up money. And people like to FOMO when they hear other people making money. It's like, damn, I want to make money too. I hate my 9 to 5. How much money are you up? Damn, I want that type of money too. But once again, they never justify it with the chart. They justify it with the news. What does that mean? Well, Jim Cramer said to buy. Yeah, that's a clear indicator of a sell, cuzzy. Once again, 81.8 to 77,000 lines up with the moving averages, which I just showed you. If and when, that will also be lined up with the purple and the blue moving average. Hasn't happened yet, but seeing selling pressure at the top of this rainbow pattern on a weekly, and long-term trends predict short-term outcomes. What does that mean? Just to emphasize on a little bit, if you are getting bearish divergence on a weekly, a 2-week, a 3-week, and a monthly, it does not matter what is happening on your daily 16, 12, 6, and 4. Once again, you'll get pumps on those time frames, but as long as this is coming down and this is coming down, that trumps the shorter time frames, okay? Just to emphasize even more, on a monthly time frame, you can see here we're still going up. We still have room to grow, okay? So I'm curious if this is going to be the first lower high, right? We have room to come down, go back up. There's still a lot that could happen. As of right now, the RSI is making higher lows, higher highs. The candle has not printed yet on the monthly, right? We still have 4 days, but I'm curious to see, once again, if we break the 76.41. If we break the 76.41, then that means that the bullish momentum still has a little bit left to it, meaning that we could break this a little bit, come down, form another higher low, right? We're making higher highs and higher lows. If we break the 76, 74 and end up somewhere over here, that gives someone like me higher probability that we're going to come down but form a higher low. If, the word is if we form a lower high to the 76, 74 and this stops here, or even the same high, that gives the asset a very high probability of coming back down to the 62, 61 with its last low here and potentially even breaking it. You don't want to see that. If we start seeing that, then we are going to have weeks to months of a healthy consolidation. Now, just looking at the chart, let's take off this. Just looking at the chart, where do you want to buy your Bitcoin? At the purple. Where do you want to take profit on your Bitcoin? At the white. Are we closer to the white or are we closer to the purple? We're closer to the white, right? So regardless of the news, if we even come down worst case scenario and go back down to 32 to 33,000, right? I'm not going to say, I will say it. Let's just say a war starts, right? Let's just say another COVID type situation comes out, right? Everyone's walking around with walking pneumonia, right? That's what I think I had for the past 3-4 weeks. Thank God I'm feeling better. Thank God I'm trying to get off the inhaler. But fear like that will cause massive selling pressure, and Wall Street, BlackRock, Vanguard, they want meat on the bone. So they're going to cause massive fear in the news. The asset could come all the way back down to right here. 33 to 34,000, and that still remains bullish to someone like me, because the last low is 15,000. If we come down to 30,000, I could confidently say, well, you're not getting 15,000 anymore, the same way you're not getting 6,000 anymore, the same way you're not getting 3,000 anymore, the same way you're not getting 200 anymore, okay? So, the first short-term bottom, once again, I do think lines up. I do think we go to 86,000 first. Then after that, lower high, lower low. Then 81,000, lower high, lower low. We fill the gap. We go to 75,000. And then I need to see the chart. I need to evaluate it. I need to see if we're forming hidden bullish divergence. And then I could confidently say that that is the local bottom. And we could potentially be doing something like this. And then we have another pump up to 100,000. That's the video. I appreciate the support. Once again, I don't chase green candles. I buy at support, so I have the opportunity to take profit at resistance. I trust charts over people, and long-term trends predict what short-term outcomes will be. As of right now, if we break the 70 line, that is a clear, on the weekly, a clear indicator that poo-poo is hitting the fan, and we are going to have some blood. One last thing. Bitcoin might stay flat for a little bit. The reason why I say that is if all of the profit from XLM and Link and ADA and the memes and this, all of the coins that have pumped over the past month, hundreds of %, if the profit goes back to Bitcoin, it's going to keep it flat for a little bit. And then once the profit from Bitcoin is taken, that's when you see even more blood. You understand? That's when you see the XRP at 75, 85 cents. That's when you see XLM, which, by the way, great call by me. Pat on my back. No news. Went from support to resistance. Not only once, twice, 3 times. Called us in the Discord weeks ago. No news. Just literally went back to the 52 cents. Went back to the 52 cents. Went back to the 52 cents. Most important thing, right? No news. If it comes back down, let's just say to here, what was resistance will be support at 13 to 14 cents, right? And consolidates 50, 60%. That happens if your asset is losing value versus Bitcoin and Bitcoin's coming down. What's the news? What's the justification? Most important thing is the last lows were 7 cents. Before that, it was 6 cents. Before that, it was 4 cents. Before that, it was 1 penny. Once again, ascending triangle. This will break out eventually. Still forming a higher low, right? Algo called the inverse head and shoulders in the Discord. I said low, lower low, higher low. We could go back to resistance. We could come right back to here to 15 cents, lose 50%, and still form a higher low to the macro, which was 9 cents, and before that it was 8 cents. I have the opportunity to do something like this. This looks like this is doing something like this, which is another ascending triangle, which eventually will break to the upside. If you're looking for major liquidation zones, go to the monthly. You could see clear as day. This was the local top. This was the local top. What are the chances, bud, that it went right back to the local top? No news. I have not done any research on any of these coins, but I have called multiple price targets. How is that possible? So it's possible because, I'm sorry to say it, this is not the stock market. And there's a lot of manipulation in the crypto market. Like literally you don't see out of the technical analysis 101 book this playing out on stocks all the time, right? Stocks have earnings and this and that, and once you have Wall Street and hedge funds involved, it's a different animal. The news actually does matter. In crypto, bro, it literally doesn't matter. I'm calling this now, okay? I do think we come back and we stop right here at the 16 cents to potentially the 15 cents, maybe a little bit of a wick down to the 11. Then after that, you take the body of the ascending triangle, you bring it to the breakout, and then algo will eventually go back to this liquidation zone of, let's just say, 65 cents to potentially 53 cents, right? XLM. This here is a huge, huge ascending triangle. You would take the body of the flag, you go to the breakout, right? Let's just say it's somewhere over here, and then you bring XLM to $1.75 to potentially $2. No news, straight technical analysis, right? ADA. Called this one in the Discord as well. I know nothing about it. I know Charles Hawkinson, blah, 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 right? I know it's supposed to be an Ethereum killer. Never really was. I gave the Discord 3 target prices from the bottom here, right? We buy at support to take profit at resistance. It was a cool 50, 85, 121, greed level of 186, and we're seeing resistance at resistance, right? Resistance, support, resistance, support, resistance. No news, just following the chart, squiggly lines for the win, right? And that's that. I love you guys. I appreciate the support. If you have any comments, questions, concerns, leave it in the comment section. I'm really thinking of not doing the Discord because I want this channel to grow, right? The Discord was popping. Hundreds of messages, emotes, this and that, the whole nine. I posted in the community tab and no one knows what's going on, right? Because everyone was going to the Discord. From now on, I'm going to be posting those plays like I did in the Discord in the community tab on my YouTube channel. So do me a favor, put on the notification bell, subscribe. If you have comments like you did in the past, hey Joe, what's going on with this, blah, 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 I'll answer, but put it on my channel. I want my channel to grow. I don't know. I post things and then you see major YouTubers posted 2-3 days later, right? No one was talking about blood to 86 to 70 something thousand until I posted the video the other day, right? And then it's like all of a sudden people put their stupid surprise faces, and it's like, oh, whoa, what's gonna happen? Oh my God, come on, bro, like, come on, do better. That's the video. Love you. I appreciate the support. I love you. Listen, I'm really just trying to help anyone that listens, right? The people that have listened to me over the past 5-10 years, literally all of them are in the profit. All of them are in the green. The people that don't listen, I can't help you. I also don't give a fuck. I don't. You could only bring the horse to water. I can't force you to drink, bro. Right? And I really don't have the time to persuade someone that my process works. I literally make YouTube videos and everything is documented. And then if something plays out, it's like, how many times do I have to call something for people to build that trust level? That's the video. Love you guys. Once again, comment, questions, concerns, please leave it in the comment section. If you appreciate this, just do me a favor and like the video. I'm trying to get to at least 500 subscribers and 1,000 hours watched so I can start monetizing these videos and putting the money back into the channel, like a new microphone, maybe a video, new computer, so I could actually start going live with 4K resolution, the whole nine, right? So love you guys, appreciate it, enjoy the day. Happy Thanksgiving if I don't make a video tomorrow. I don't like to be full transparent, but bro, I got a wife, 3 kids, like my life is very hectic. They come first, then the YouTube channel. If I have time to make a video, I'll make the video tomorrow. If I don't though, enjoy Thanksgiving. I will be posting in the community tab every single day. So please check that. Peace.